Welcome in, everybody, to the PHNX Suns post-game show. We got the sad music here on this fine Saturday afternoon because the Phoenix Suns fell to the Philadelphia 76ers 112-100. Gerald, you are on the clock for the hot minute. Break it down in 1 minute. Ready, set, go.
All right, so we already knew this was going to be tough against one of the top teams in the East without Devin Booker, without Bradley Beal, and the offensive execution was rough in the first half. Suns were shooting 33%, 25% from three, 4 missed free throws in the first half, but they were somehow only down 7 because they were scrapping and clawing their way into this game. In the second half, Nurk takes an elbow to the face and does not start the game. Drew Eubanks was in to replace him, but fortunately Nurk was able to check back in and continue shooting as many three-pointers as he's been taking, which is way too many. But the Suns went down 12. They showed good poise and they were able to respond, pulled back within 2. But at that point, their lack of shot making and general execution really struggled. I mean, it was over at that point. KD dropped 30 and took half the Suns' free throws, but they just couldn't get enough help from the other guys. They shot 36 overall and 26% from three. Tough loss to a good team, but you do like the fight and the defense, even though it didn't go their way in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Hold on. Applaud Gerald. That was a solid one. That was a better 1 minute stretch than we saw from the Suns tonight.
Oh,
I'm going to take that as a compliment and not.
I didn't mean
the
that.
bar was super low.
You hit more than 30% of what you took there. I'm
shots
proud
fired, and unlike the Suns, Gerald made his.
The solar flares really helped me with the 1 minute thing. I'm not gonna lie.
It was unfortunate, though, tonight. I mean, listen, the Sixers did not play the greatest game.
No.
They allowed the Suns the opportunity to stay within it, to get within a couple points of them, but the Suns just couldn't capitalize on that because they couldn't hit their shots.
Yeah.
It was super frustrating, especially because a good majority of them were layups. I'm sure, yes, some threes. We'll talk about the threes here in a little bit, but it's just like, it's one of those things where it was like, you guys were right there. You played better basketball today, but you just couldn't get over the hump.
The margin for error with Booker and Beal out is really slim.
Yeah.
They don't have the playmaking or the scoring that they would normally have with those guys out there. And so as much as they cut down on the turnovers after like the first quarter or so, they couldn't put the ball in the hole. They couldn't finish layups. They couldn't hit wide open threes. And yes, it felt like Philly was kind of sleepwalking through that first half. But when you have those opportunities, you got to pounce on them. And outside of the opening 4 or 5 minutes where they came out strong, it felt like they just didn't have enough execution and shot making to get over that hump.
Yeah. I mean, we're asking a lot right now.
We are.
We're asking a lot. You got 50 points on that bench. You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to put lipstick on a pig. I'm not going to say, oh, my God. Listen, you're asking these guys to do way more than they're capable and what they were brought here to do. You got 50 points. Like I said, you got 50 points on that bench. People are already saying we need to make a trade. No, the trade is we need to get Devin Booker and Bradley Beal back on the court. And that's going to happen very soon. And when that happens, these guys that are missing shots that are contested, okay, now I'm not making excuses for the wide open ones, but there are a lot of times where these guys that are playing these roles that are being a little bit stretched are taking shots that when you have Brad, Book, and KD on the court are going to be much more easier for these guys to take and make. So again, I'm not trying to sugarcoat this, but I just think to be down 5, like, first of all, I got to say this too. Even if Book, Beal, and KD play today, this is a damn good Philly team. Like, there's no way you can tell me that if Brad, Beal, Book, and KD played, this was an absolute win. This is a road game in Philadelphia versus one of the best teams in the East, probably the third best team in the East. And you went out there with a lot of bullets going out of your chamber or in your clip. And it was a 5-point game going into the fourth. Like, sugarcoat it however you want, it was a 5-point game.
I don't deny that. What my problem is if you had Bradley Beal and Devin Booker and the Sixers played the way that they did tonight,
Easy
it would have
dub.
been an easy
Oh,
win.
yeah.
And this is a game where you probably should have won because I didn't go back and count because I didn't have an extra 25 minutes to figure out how many layups they missed. But they missed, I'm guessing, more combined layups than Devin Booker and Bradley Beal have missed combined games. There was probably 20 points, 24 points that they left on the board because they missed layups. They left 6 points on the board and missed free throws. They only shot 81% from the charity stripe tonight. They had 7 fewer turnovers than the Sixers, but wound up only having had 1 fewer shot than them. There were a lot of issues here that a handful of those things go their way. They should have won this game.
Philly missed layups too.
No, I agree, but a handful of these things go your way even without Booker and Beal. You should have won this game. This is a game that you go, okay, they could have had this. They left this one on the table with bad shooting and bad execution. And all right, I agree. I'm not going to panic. I understand there's 50 points on the bench. I understand that you're not necessarily, running the same system or strategizing the same way. But this was a game that they could have won, even in the state that they were in.
Well,
Much like Tuesday's game
Yes.
as well, which I think is the kind of frustrating part of all of this is that like we can see it, that even without Book and Beal, like it's right there. It's for the taking. It's just a matter of putting the final piece of the puzzle together of how you manage without those guys playing.
Yeah, Lakers, you could have won that game. You blowed in the second half. Tuesday against Spurs, you could have won, and this one felt like it was within grasp. So that's 3 of your 4 losses. Could have easily gone the other way. And you could argue even Thursday night against the Spurs, you closed the gap and you just fell short. You could have had an opportunity there. But 3 of these 4 losses, very much winnable games.
So who was missing from those?
Right.
Yeah.
four?
No, I agree.
Right,
Also,
and that's my
I
point.
agree.
Does that makes me feel good, Espo?
I was gonna
That's what I'm
say,
saying.
if you
That
wanna
makes me
look at
feel
the
good.
positive
Yeah.
side of this, it's that they are winnable games.
Yes.
They've been in these games and they've been winnable games without Book and without Beal.
Right.
And hopefully, if you want to continue down the positive route, if you do end up having another stretch of time this season where you're without a couple of your big 3, maybe at that point they'll have put it together. They'll have figured each other out, got the chemistry at a good, smooth level to where they can actually make these winnable games wins.
Yeah.
Should we bust out therapist Espo? Do I need to come in and really make some of the chat? It feels very toxic right now, and can I bring some perspective?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Guys, come on down, sit on the couch. Therapist Espo is here for you. I just want to I want to take a moment here and let's look at November 4th, 2022. A year ago today, NBA standings, Eastern Conference. What team was one Kevin Durant on at that point?
Brooklyn Nets.
Brooklyn Nets. They were sitting at what exactly was the record? 3-6.
3-6
at this point last year. By December 28th, they were 26-13 and second in the Eastern Conference. Why don't we take a look at the West on November 4th last year to make everybody feel a little bit better? Sure, the Suns were the number 1 seed in the West, but Portland was the number 2 seed. Utah was the number 3 seed. Memphis was 4. Dallas was 5. Denver was 6. New Orleans was 7. And San Antonio was in
The
that
champs were 6?
9th slot.
Mm-hmm.
The champs were sitting at 5-3 in 6th place. There were, if I counted that right, 3 or 4 teams that didn't even make the playoffs in the top 9 of the West. My point being, it's early. We don't have to worry about it. All right.
Right.
That's your Espo therapist session.
And I will say, because I understand the injury concerns. They were there heading into the season before we knew Book was questionable opening night, before we knew Beal was out with the back thing. We knew that this big 3 needs to stay healthy. Nothing has changed in that regard. So I get being concerned that Beal has not played yet, and that he's still not back yet. I get that. But at the same time, we knew this was going to be the case coming in. We know that this team is not fully whole, and you don't want to lose ground. You want these guys to play 50, 60 more games together heading into the playoffs so they can build that continuity, so Vogel can try out his lineups and rotations with his full complement of guys. That part is key.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, if we're worrying about the state of this team right now, worry about whether they can stay healthy, which is what it always was coming into this season. I'm not worried about guys that are having to step up and do things that they're normally not going to be asked to do in regards to playmaking, in regards to ball handling, because as much as it might not seem like it, there is a big difference between being a secondary ball handler and playmaker, a guy who is attacking closeouts and capitalizing off the bench against lesser players, than there is starting Eric Gordon and Grayson Allen and expecting them
to
run their offense.
Right.
Like, there's a big difference there. So I know people are worried about the offense. I know they're worried about the defense as well. Like, it hasn't been as good over the last week. It was very good in week 1. I still think we need to give this team time. I know it's going to be frustrating. I know patience is wearing really thin because we were all very excited coming into the season about what this group could do. But the fact of the matter is we haven't seen what this group can do because we haven't seen the group. Like, it's not putting lipstick on a pig to just acknowledge the fact that right now it's a pig. Like, we need to get our full guys back. We're missing 2 of our 3 best players. There aren't a lot of teams in the league that are going to win a ton of games if they're missing 2 of their best 3 players. Correct. It is what it is.
And you know, it's another thing is that it feels, the chat feels like, and the conversation feels like Devin's missed 20 games and Brad's missed 30.
Right.
Guys, we're talking about 6 games. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, and somebody in the chat, I can't remember who it is, asked for an update. Here's your damn update. And I'm sorry, I'm just getting frustrated, and not with you, but with Here's the update. Devin's going to play tomorrow, and Brad Beal is going to have a very good chance of playing Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's the update. That's what it is. We're not talking weeks and months. These guys will be back in days. And when they're back in days, if we're still talking like this, and we're still performing like this 5 games into them coming back, then I should see this. But up until then, it's like, come on, guys. Like, take Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce off the Chiefs, and we'll see if they're still the Chiefs. Like, these are big time
Jokic
players.
And Jamal Murray off the Nuggets.
Right.
Take AD and LeBron off of the Lakers. Take Embiid and Maxey.
Right. Yeah. Like, come on. We got to chill a little bit.
I understand. Concerned about injuries. 100%. If you're feeling concerned about that, I get that. But saying this team's trash, panicking, we don't know what this team is, like you're saying. We have no idea what the systems are, who these guys are, how they're going to play together, what the bench looks like, because you started 3 guys today that are bench players for you, that are keys to your bench in KBD and Grayson Allen, Eric Gordon. Like, so when people are like, well, they didn't score many bench points. Yeah, because those guys were starting. Like, there's so many things. You can't judge anything right now outside of, I'm concerned that Devin Booker and Bradley Beal have missed a combined 10 games so far.
And even, like, because I keep seeing it in the chat about the whole use of Nurkic, DeAndre Ayton thing.
Right.
We've covered this before. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like Nurkic has looked good in these first 6 games. He hasn't. He also hasn't been playing with the guys that his talents are going to help shine in terms of his screen setting, in terms of his passing and their cutting ability, with Beal, with Booker as gravity hubs, forcing like defenses to pick and choose what they're going to defend. I think that's a big part of Nurkic's appeal, is his fit with the big 3 in particular, not just that he can throw passes. He's not going to go out there and be like Jokic and make everybody else look good. Right. With the big 3, he will make them look better. The defense, absolutely still a concern. I have not been encouraged by what I've seen defensively, but if we're still going back to the DeAndre Ayton thing, that relationship was untenable. And we saw it reach kind of its breaking point over the last couple of seasons. We saw what the effort is in the playoffs. They needed somebody who was not going to be wrapped up in how many shots he's getting. And maybe Nurkic develops into that guy. We've heard Portland guys say that he's been that guy, but to that point, that hasn't been the problem here. So, like, going back to the DeAndre Ayton thing, both sides needed a change of pace. We saw the extent of what we could expect from DA in the playoffs the last 2 years, and it wasn't enough for this team. So, yeah, you got to change things up. And I get that nobody's high on Nurkic right now. I'm not encouraged by what I've seen defensively either, but we got to move on from the DA stuff because he was not fixing this problem either.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree. That needs to just be buried. And then also there was the moment on Media Day where he implied that he requested a trade as well. Like, do you really want that in your locker room? Do you want all of that drama around your team? I don't. That's for certain. Okay, let's look at a couple of super chats here. We do have 2 from the pregame show that I completely forgot to read. So my bad to Manuel and to Andrew. I'll read them right now. Manuel said, if we win today, Lindsay gets up at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Well, Manny, that's what you get.
She's getting up at 5 a.m. tomorrow now.
I'm going to get up. What time is our game tomorrow?
1 p.m.
I'm going to get up at 12:30 tomorrow. I'll see you guys on the pregame show.
I mean, to be fair, that was about the time you started operating like a human today, too. So.
Andrew sent us one too, said, I want to see Gordon's start to take over for Booker. We did see Gordon start. So, and then from today's show or this afternoon show, Thunder Stan sent us one, said, Yuta looking useless, not a sweet baby angel. He has struggled a little bit the last couple of games, but again, I think it goes back to...
It's been 2 games. He was shooting 44% from 3 in the first 4 games. He's gone 1 of 8 in the last 2. Again, these are small sample sizes that we're working with, so the last 2 games are going to weigh really heavily. They're going to bring his 3-point percentage down really heavily. I get that, but like, again, we're dealing with tiny sample sizes here. Yeah. So the last 2 games, I'll give you that. He hasn't looked great.
I mean, he did have 3 offensive rebounds and a steal tonight, too. So he did some of the littler things. But let's be honest, none of these guys look good offensively.
No.
They shot 36% in total. And Kevin Durant was the best of the bunch at 9 or 20. Are we really going to act like anybody looked particularly great offensively?
Like Grayson Allen at home in 3 games has averaged 17 points on 17 of 29 shooting. In the 3 games on the road, 4.7 points on 5 of 19 shooting. Like, night and day differences there. Pretty similar splits with Eric Gordon as well. Like, this is a team that is still figuring it out. They're putting guys in spots that they're not normally going to be in. It is going to be rough. Like, we should have known this, maybe not this rough, especially when, like you said, there are a couple of games they could have won, but it is what it is. Tomorrow you bounce back, you play a Detroit team that you should beat. Booker is probably going to play in that game.
Devin's going to play tomorrow.
You go from there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to say it like that, but I totally expect Devin to play tomorrow. And, guys, you know what? Listen, if this is your basketball team, if this is the Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant, and these guys, it's a damn lottery team. It is what it is, man. They're a damn lottery team. If this is your team, but that's not your team. You have Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. That was the plan. And so I'll say it again till I'm blue in the face. 20 games. In 20 games, you'll know who teams are in the NBA. That is the sample size, and we're 6 games in. I can't do that.
Grayson Allen, Yuta Watanabe, what are they? They're shooters.
Yeah.
What's the old saying? Shooters have to shoot themselves out of a slump, right? What bothers me about this game in particular is they combined for 11 shots when Josh Okogie and Yusuf Nurkic combined for 14, including more 3-pointers than Allen and Watanabe took. That's problematic to me as well, because these guys aren't getting a lot of opportunity necessarily, where 2 guys I'd probably prefer to be shooting less are taking 21 of your 89 shots.
But that was defensive. That was Philly being smart.
Oh yeah, they're forcing it.
Okogie and Nurk, y'all, we're gonna leave y'all wide open.
Yeah,
that's just being smart. And again, Yuta, Grayson Allen, Gordon, they were brought here to make shots. Most of those shots, in theory, are supposed to be open shots when you got the big 3 out there and all the gravity. So now again, the difference between an NBA shot is incredible. Like, you know, half a second of space means the world. And when Yuta's being able to set his feet and shoot, as opposed to a guy running out on him, he's got to think about it, changes their shots. That's why Yuta is a bench guy. That's why he's a minimum guy. That's why he is who he is. He's not an NBA starter. And if you want him to play like a starter, you're going to be disappointed because he's not. In spurts, he might be able to, but listen, these guys are being way stretched out right now. And I'm just looking forward to the next couple of days when we get things back in order.
Guys like Josh Okogie and Jordan Goodwin in particular need to play with more talent around them, because the lack of shooting becomes a much bigger problem, especially for Okogie, who's fit with the big 3, makes a lot more sense than when he's out there with sharing the court with Jordan Goodwin, who also can't shoot. Like that's going to cripple that lineup if you have those guys on the floor at the same time. So when you get those guys healthy, the things that Okogie does stand out a lot more and they shine, and his shortcomings on that end are not as glaring as they are like when he's coming off the bench.
That's right.
Frank sent us a super chat. Frank said, "How could the Suns do this to me again?" with a shrug emoji. Can relate, Frank.
Sorry, Frank
Absolutely
Vogel.
can relate.
Because the bench shot 7 of 27. That doesn't help. You know,
Yeah.
when you're using guys that are likely third stringers.
Yeah.
Adrian sent us one, said, "Very frustrated with the loss, but we fought hard against one of the best teams in the East without Book and Beal. Hashtag still not overreacting."
There you go, Adrian.
That's a fair perspective.
That's someone who gets it.
All right, but here's the deal, guys. Flex and I have our Shady Rays on. You guys should
here we
post
go.
out your Shady Rays because we're about to throw some shade with the rest of these super chats. If you don't have some Shady Rays, you can get your hands on some, and you can get a really good deal on them as well, because exclusively for you, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Just go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Also, if you are looking to hit up a Suns game or any game or concert in the near future, Game Time is the place to get your tickets. You can buy tickets without the stress when you use Game Time. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but again, create an account and redeem the code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. All right, we're going to talk about a couple players.
Can I address one thing in the chat?
I don't know. I don't really like addressing the chat right now.
I'm not gonna get salty.
Everyone's being
Ricky J says Beal's in a contract 4 more years with a back injury, right? A, it's not a serious back injury. B, Steve Nash played 9 seasons here with a seriously injured back where he could not sit on the bench during games. He had to lay on the baseline so his back didn't tighten up, and he still played all right for 9 years that way. So let's not act like this is some horrible, scary thing right now. So.
All right.
Did he win 2 MVPs?
I'm pretty sure he did, and
that
then
guy.
made the All-Star game.
Guy with the long
bunch,
hair.
you know.
Yeah, I remember him.
Let him to conference finals. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, not too
Licking
bad.
his fingers. I remember him.
Okay, so we're going to start with his super chat from Eddie. Eddie, thank you for your super chat. Said, "It's early, but Goodwin should probably fall out of the rotation at this point. I think even Saban Lee..." You couldn't even help me get through that one, Eddie. "I think even Saban Lee is better, or at least another free agent. Hashtag go Suns." I don't think Saban Lee is the answer.
If he falls out the rotation, who the hell we gonna play? We don't got no guards.
Yeah, it's,
Like,
I mean, when Book and Beal come back, obviously his minutes are going to be much more
of
limited
course.
because then Gordon and Allen move to the bench. Like right now, he's playing a large amount of minutes out of necessity.
yeah. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, it has not been great with Gordon or Goodwin. He's added some hustle plays in the defense. You love the tenacity on that end, but I think he's shooting 15 for 48 so far on the season.
Yeah.
And 5 for 21 from 3. Like, it's been rough offensively. I'm not going to lie to you there. I think once the big 3 is healthy, he's probably the guy that is not in the rotation at that point in time. And I think Josh Okogie kind of takes on a similar role to what he's playing now if he's not the 5th starter. But you can't take him out of the rotation right now because who's going to handle the ball when KD rests, when one of Grayson or Gordon or both are resting? Like, you need somebody to initiate offense.
He's literally your first guard off the bench right now.
And Saban,
no.
I love the kid. I know he's a hometown kid, but shoots too much is not the answer there. And let's be honest. We knew this was something that could happen shooting wise with Okogie and Goodwin. We talked about it in the offseason. We even said if Okogie didn't shoot well, he wasn't going to be long in that starting lineup, that Frank Vogel would mess with things. You know, so let's not act as if we're necessarily surprised at this right now either.
Yeah, and I hate the selective amnesia. Like, Gerald made a great point with Utah struggling. It's been 2 games. But before that, he was shooting pretty damn good. When we played the Lakers a week ago, Jordan Goodwin played a hell of a game in that Laker game. So my problem with this is it cannot be a roller coaster of on Monday, this guy is the man. And then Wednesday, yo, this guy stinks. It's like, come on, man.
Sweet baby angel flex. That's how it is for 82 games plus the playoffs.
I'm actually shocked at how much it's like. It cannot be that, guys. Like, there is going to be ups and downs, but it can't be polar opposites every night. Like,
welcome to the media, man.
I'm here to if that's how it is, and I'm here to say it's got to change, man, because that's not reality. These guys are going to have bad games. Like, KD was washed a couple days ago, and then he drops 31, and he's good again. Like, what are we doing?
The KD is wash talk really gets me, because what sport are we watching?
Right.
Well, he shot sub 50% tonight. So.
Okay, so we're talking Jordan Goodwin, Saban Lee, Libertarian Sasquatch sent us a super chat and said, I think it's safe to say we need a real point guard off the bench to help facilitate. We can't just keep saying, quote, win healthy.
So here's my thing is I get it to a certain degree, but at the same time, when the big three is healthy, you will have a ball handler of some sort on the court at all times. Like, you'll be able to stagger. And even if Beal and Book are sitting at the same time, you can still have Grayson, Gordon, and KD on the court at the same time, like with a bench-heavy unit, and you're going to be playing against opposing benches. So that's enough playmaking, scoring, shooting to get by in that regard. I understand, because like people are bringing up TJ McConnell. People are bringing up another guy we'll talk about near the end of the show as like options to bring in a true point guard here. I get the concern to a certain degree. I think it could help cut down on the turnovers, but like today they did an okay job with that. They're moving in the right direction in that regard. I hope.
They had 7 fewer turnovers than their average today. It wasn't,
My thing is like, and I keep seeing this as well, is that like, why do we have Bol Bol if we're not going to use him? That is my kind of area where I'm like, okay, maybe I could see the point there in terms of letting Bol Bol go and bringing in a point guard, because I'll be honest, I don't see the point of having Bol Bol, because he's just not going to play ahead of Nurkic and Drew Eubanks. He's just not that guy.
You don't believe he's in the lab trying to become the Wemby stopper?
Yeah,
neither do I.
So I'll give you that one. I think, and again, there's plenty months leading up to the trade deadline and even to December 15th when more free agents become available to trade, that you can address these concerns, because we're going to be keeping an eye on Nurkic and whether he can be your defensive anchor. We're going to be keeping an eye on the playmaking, the turnovers, all of that. And we're going to be keeping an eye on who in the rotation is playing well and who is maybe not part of it. And I think the Suns will try to be aggressive on that front, even though they have limited means to make a move.
Okay, before we do some more of these super chats, let's look at some numbers to start off with this next little group of segments. What's in the box, Eric?
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
Do I really have to do? I mean, look, ugly shooting, 39 or 36% from the field, 25.7% from deep. Rebounding, well, they got the clocks cleaned on the glass by 10, 51-41. Look, turnovers, they were within 7. Like they won the battle by 7, but they still wound up with 1 fewer shot in this game. So overall, it was an ugly performance offensively, and that's how you get a 112-100 loss.
Honestly, like, rebounds, I didn't feel like they got the same number of offensive rebound. It's because they missed so many shots.
Well, that's true.
The Sixers wound up with so many more defensive rebounds.
Yeah, when you give them that many opportunities, they're bound to get some.
They cut the turnovers down. They got as many offensive rebounds. They just could not make any shots today.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, what did they miss? They missed 57 shots tonight. So, you give your opponent, I mean, they gave them 11 more opportunities to get a rebound than Philly did.
So continuing on looking at some numbers here, I'm not going to fully poo-poo on Jusuf Nurkic. However, I do want to talk about the 3-point attempts.
Yeah.
So Nurk was 1 for 6 tonight. I think on Thursday he was 1 for 3. How many threes are you guys comfortable with Nurk taking per game? Because I feel like it's getting a little bit excessive.
2.
Two's the most.
If
1.5 has 1.
I'm like per game 1. I think there'll be games where he takes 2 or 3, but like he took 4 in the first quarter or first half, something like that.
4 in
like
the first half.
It's too many, and you're playing into their hands. I know, because I tweeted something about it, and I think you did too in the first quarter. Like, he's taking too many threes. And people were saying, well, if they're going to leave him open, I'd prefer he takes those to try and spread the floor. Yeah, if he can make them.
Like, you ain't spreading the floor if you're missing them. Defenses can just go, I'm good.
Even last year in his career year where he shot a good percentage from three, it was only on 2.3 attempts, and it was 36%. Right. So it's not a great percentage. It's good enough as a 5, but like he's still a career 29% shooter. So we don't know for sure that what we saw last year is something that's actually sustainable on a winning team. Like, I don't know.
What bothers me too is what we heard is he's got a handle, so he can dribble and he can pass the rock. So it's not like he's just kind of trapped there being wide open. Dribble in, try to create something. That's what bothers me about it. Is his only option isn't to just chuck it from there.
You make a great point. That's what's going to happen. With no gravity out there, it's just not. He's going to dribble right into a trap. He's going to pass to a tight corner. It's going to probably be a turnover, but you're right. That's what you want him to do. I think that will happen. And to Gerald's point, when you get the full complement, his game will open up. But right now it's bad. And listen, please, for the love of God, don't ever shoot 6 again, bro.
He's 5 for 21 on the season.
He pulled from 30 at one point.
I mean,
from 30. I don't know if when he got hit in the head, he thought he was Steph, but after that, he pulled from 30. I don't need to see it.
Yeah, no.
Also, can we all just agree that if you get hit in the face that hard, somebody else should be able to shoot your tech?
Yes.
Like,
probably.
I feel like I'll give him a pass on those misses because he was probably still seeing double for a minute there.
Yeah.
I mean,
he collapsed when he took that elbow. That wasn't some kind of like I'm flopping to sell it. Like you could tell he felt it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, when he shot them free throws, I mean, they were bad. Like the first one, you can tell this guy's concussed or something. Like, something's bothering him. Like Rocky movie, like hit the one in the middle. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, yo.
Yeah.
And I do hope he's cool after that. I mean, he did return to the game, so he should be all fine. But I know that can be a tough headache to deal with, that's for sure. There was some good numbers tonight.
There were.
One for us, one for them. Shall we start with us?
Yeah.
Let's start with us.
Can we start with us?
Let's start with us and name our big, bright, shiny star.
I'm a big,
the washed up guy.
star.
It goes to Kevin Durant. He finished with 31 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. And he also reached 7,000 career rebounds today as well, which is a pretty big number for KD. So congrats to him on that. Now, on the flip side, though, KD is carrying quite the load for the Suns right now with Book and Beal out. And there's a couple super chats that have some concerns about that.
Sure.
So Hector sent us one, said, my issue is if KD is pressed on offense, it's been leaving the big in no man's land, running down the shot clock.
Yeah, I get it. Like the offense hasn't looked great in terms of the motion that we were kind of promised. Again, you're missing 2 of your lead ball handlers, scorers, playmakers in that regard, but I would like to see a little bit more. I think part of it today, like we said, just couldn't make shots. They got some good open threes and layups, just didn't make them. But yeah, the Kevin Durant thing is something to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah. Eric sent us one and said, hate the workload we are putting on KD. Feels like Nets 2.0. And then Big Vernon also sent us one and said the Suns team is atrocious without Beal and Booker out there with KD. KD not going to be able to carry this. I'm sorry. Need Beal and Book back, please.
Okay, let me address the Nets part first. One of your guys isn't out because of conspiracy theories, and the other isn't out because he strip clubs more than practice courts. All right, this is totally different, and they're injuries, and they'll be back soon. So can we not go with the Nets 2.0?
He had me in the first half,
and one of the guys just almost had a triple-double like 36 hours ago.
And we'll be back tomorrow.
And we'll be back mañana. In case you don't, tomorrow, mañana. How do you say tomorrow in Chinese? I don't know how you want me to say it, but tomorrow he'll be back. And so I don't get it. I don't get it.
I do, from the net side of things, I'm on your guys' page, but I do think that you are putting quite the load on KD's shoulders.
Yeah, of course.
He's not a spring chicken anymore. He's still more than capable of winning you games, don't get me wrong. But even today, at a certain point, I think there was like maybe 4 minutes left in the game, and I'm just like, why is KD still out there? He's already logging higher 30s than what we would like probably from him. Like, take him out.
Right.
I would
Yeah.
be, I am a little bit concerned, or I just want them to be cautious with the amount of minutes they're asking KD to play whenever they're dealing with injuries.
Yeah, and it was 36 minutes today, so probably a little bit higher. I think they could have pulled him a minute or two earlier. They still pulled him with like 3 or 4 minutes left, but it is a lot, mostly because it's not even just the minutes, it's the offensive burden that he's carrying. Like the amount of touches he's having to have, the amount of ISO buckets he's having to create, the amount of traps he's having to face. And we keep talking about this, like the ball security needs to be better. He had 5 turnovers today. He had half of the Suns' turnovers. But it's also because he's seeing way more attention without having that same Booker or Beal to outlet the ball to when he sees those traps, which makes a difference. So they are putting, it's not even just the minutes, it's that burden of having to do so much on offense that I'm worried about.
Yeah.
But again, Book back tomorrow. That'll ease that in that regard. And hopefully Beal back later in the week. Yeah. So we can start to finally see what this team might look like with all of its complement of players.
Yeah, I mean, if he averages 36, 37 minutes a game when they're back and this team, has to do that, then I'm really concerned because inevitably you're going to hit a point where that's just too much on him. But right now, 6 games in, 36 minutes, all right, it's a necessity. It has to be at this point, and so be it.
So it wasn't exactly a great game for the Suns, but it was a pretty decent game for a former Sun.
Do we really?
Kelly Oubre Jr.
Screw you, Kelly!
I thought you requested this graphic. Did you not request this graphic?
Yeah, who did this?
Why? Why did we put the pretty boy on the screen? I don't need to see Kelly Oubre Jr.
Lies.
And any of you saying that he should be on this roster,
we're probably right.
No.
He's been balling this summer,
yeah, that's
dude.
great. And
Like
eventually he will wind up having games where he is the Saban Lee of that roster, taking far too many shots. And I'm not sure he's a good locker room guy. I'll just say it. So good luck, Philly. Screw you, Kelly. I know I'm in such a minority.
You're such a hater.
You can ride the horse you came in on all the way back. I don't care, all right?
Sad 'cause he got traded after the horse.
I know, that was really sad. I was bummed for that.
I'd rather have the horse on the roster.
You're a liar.
You're
a liar.
Don't do it.
We got bad Photoshop.
OMG, we put
Watch your
Gerald
phone
on the
all
horse.
night, brother.
Oh, man.
Because if you get a call from Saul at 2 a.m, hopefully it's not a blockbuster trade in the middle, and that's bad luck, man.
Oh, no.
Pretty boy Bourget, all right?
You heard it here first. I've been traded to Philly. Damn. That's
Oh,
tough.
shoot.
Oh my goodness.
It's not doing me any favors either. Kelly's just a beautiful man, and to put my face over his,
come on.
It's rough, man.
Don't hate on yourself.
Just a peek behind the curtain, since why not? These 3 were arguing about who was the prettier man today, Kelly or Gerald, and Gerald is on Team Kelly, and these 2 are on Team Gerald.
We did not say prettier. We said that Gerald is in that realm. All right, Flex and I were like, we don't understand that world. Gerald, you might was the whole point.
You're just having a bunch of silly conversations. So we are back in action tomorrow. The Suns will be taking on Detroit, and we all know that if the Suns lose tomorrow, that it's on Monty. So don't worry about it, everybody. But if you want to watch tomorrow's game, make sure you get prepared. It's going to be on Arizona's Family Sports. And wherever you live in Arizona, visit azfamily.com and click Suns Games for listing information for your area to find out how you can watch your Phoenix Suns. AZ Family is a great resource to help you find Phoenix Suns games on Arizona Family Sports. Also, make sure you are stocked up for some Sunday afternoon basketball by getting your hands on some Four Peaks. Specifically, I recommend the Suns Brew or getting your hands on some pumpkin porter because I'm not sure how long it's going to be around. Pumpkin porter season has come and it is close to being gone. So Make sure you check that out. And also visit fourpeaks.com/locator to find all your favorite brewery tours and events. You can also check them out on social at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest Arizona's hometown brewery. You must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and we ask you please drink responsibly.
Yes, Chris, I am bitter about Kelly. Why does a man get to be that attractive and that good at basketball, okay at basketball, and I got neither? That's my problem. All right,
That's tough.
We can't
That's
all
fair.
be Kelly.
I mean,
Oubre Jr.
I'm jealous of Gerald too. It's just by human nature.
And
all right?
the dude could dress like Kelly's well put together, man. Well put together. Like I have this game I play with my no. Hey, come on, man, get out the gutter, man. Y'all did it with like pepperoni and sausage pizza, man. Listen, hold on.
The thing is, it's not about being in the gutter. The thing that I find funny is I know more men who are like mind blown about Kelly Oubre Jr. than I do women.
Yeah.
No.
And I'm not mad at it because I get it, you guys, but I just find it hilarious that more men in the realm of Kelly in the NBA are just like dumbfounded about this man's look.
Have you looked at that man's eyes? Have you seen
like
his
a
wedding
deer.
photos out in the flower field?
They were gorgeous.
I know.
It's like looking into a deer's eyes. Like, no. I'm telling y'all, man. This guy is well put together. Listen, I play a game every now and then with my wife.
Do we want to know this, Flex?
No, we got to do Flex's story time. A little segment. Listen, I have this little time with my wife, and we'll mess around, and I'll be like, if God can give me, I can come back as one person for a day, for 24 hours.
Oh, God.
Like 24 hours. Like I could be any person on earth for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Who would you be? And surprisingly, man, Kelly Oubre makes that list.
Is this really surprising?
Is this your list or your wife's
No,
list?
this is me.
Oh, okay. This is your list.
No, this is me. Like if you told me, yo, you could be any dude on planet Earth for 24 hours. Like I'm gonna say stuff like at one point I used to be like, yo, I want to be Derek Jeter.
Mm-hmm.
Like Derek Jeter's that guy.
Yeah.
And he had a nice resume of
You guys spend way too much
beautiful
money
women,
on gift baskets.
right? So yeah, but no, surprisingly, most of the time when you ask people that question, they go for like the high athlete who's got like all the money and I'm like, yo, man, Kelly low key makes the list, man, because he could dress. He looks like if you look in his eyes like a deer. I mean, I'm telling you,
How
man.
many deers have you looked in the face?
No. So at nighttime when I'm driving in Jersey, man, they're all over the place, man, and they look at me at nighttime and they deer, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Kelly looks, when you look at Kelly's eyes, you see fear you're going to hit him with his.
No, I don't see fear. It's just a look. I don't know. I've always looked, when I look at deers
It's
at
a
nighttime,
woodsy
man,
kind
it's
of
like
beauty,
it's
I
like
guess.
a glow. It's like a glow. It's like, damn.
It's
Y'all
like
out
a
of
folksy
control
woodsy
right
kind
now.
of
Who
beauty.
would have known that Gerald's face photoshopped on Kelly would have been the best part of this segment?
This is what the Suns are doing to us. This is the post-game show for Suns success.
All right, let's get back on track here real quick. We do have a couple more super chats. Anthony, thank you for yours. Sent us one, said, what do you think of this pickup ball game plan? Bad defense, confused offense. Is this really our game plan? Even in the wins, it felt unorganized.
I didn't feel like it felt unorganized in the win. Again, there's only 2 of them so far, but I didn't feel like it was unorganized. Like the Jazz game, that felt
beautiful,
pretty organized to me.
Yeah.
I will say, like I said earlier in the show, I think the offense still has a lot of work to do in terms of the ball and off player movement that we were promised. Again, I think a lot of that comes down to not having 2 of your best 3 players. The floor shrinks when you've got Josh Okogie out there, when you've got Jordan Goodwin out there, guys that aren't shooting well. Like Yuta, the last 2 games, hasn't shot the ball well. Nobody's shot the ball well. That is going to cramp your spacing and it's going to cramp your offense a lot. But I do agree. I think I want to see a little bit more inventiveness with the offense than what we've seen so far. And hopefully once everybody gets whole, we'll be able to see some of that.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen flashes of it, though. At times that ball's moving. At times you're seeing fantastic. I mean, even Nurk, we've seen fantastic passes from KD. Grayson Allen's had, like, at times you see it and you go, oh, I understand this. And at other times you're like, oh, dear God, what am I watching?
Right.
Yeah. But I think that's a byproduct of, I think we all forget, this is basically a completely new roster. This is a completely new coaching staff. It's a completely new defensive philosophy. And yes, Kevin Young is back from an offensive perspective, but he's had to adjust his approach to all that as well. So some of it is still trying to figure out a system. Some of it is you've had to make massive adjustments because of the guys that are or aren't out there. And I think it leads to some of this. If we're seeing this come end of this month, middle of December, yeah, I'm going to be concerned.
Yeah.
But 6 games in with what you've seen, I think it's bound to happen. You're bound to just have these pockets where you're like, all right. I mean, if they hit those shots today, we're like, oh, the offense looked good because look at all those open shots they made or all these open layups they got.
Right.
You miss them, yeah, the offense is going to look disjointed.
Can I piggyback on that?
Of course
Golden State look good. For 3 quarters of the Laker game, look good, right? Utah looked fantastic. Are we going to ignore the fact that we were blowing the brakes off of the Spurs in that first game and it looked amazing up 20 with 7 minutes to play? That's a big enough chunk that I just won't selectively ignore that.
Right.
Like, these last stretch has been rough, but no, they've showed signs that they can be fine. And again, once they add everybody, I think it's going to get better.
It's easy to forget that too because it's basically been the last 2 games and 1 quarter that we've been watching where the offense hasn't looked great. And Booker's only been out there for, however many quarters that was.
Yeah.
So it's easy to have that recency bias for sure. But yeah, to your point, like until the 4th quarter against the Lakers without 2 of your big 3, it's looked pretty good. I think they can get back to that once they get healthy.
Yeah, you could sell me on defensive concerns because Book, I love his effort on defense, but he's not an all defensive player. Bradley Beal, we're gonna see he was not good the last few years in Washington, so I don't think they ride in as your saviors on defense, and that's where I'm going to have to see better rotations, cleaner things like that. Nurk showing that, like you talked about, Gerald, he can be at least part of the answer as the anchor on the back end of that defense. So you might be able to sell me on should we at some point be concerned about the defense, but offense, you can't sell me on that.
And I think the defense has been good too for the most part. Like they were 11th in defensive rating coming into today's game, and that's after the Spurs lit them up back-to-back games. They were a top 5 defense before that. Again, super small sample sizes we're talking about here, but I do think once you have your full complement of guys, I think the offense is going to prompt other teams to take worse shots than they might take because they might get caught up in trying to match you shot for shot, or like Kevin Durant comes down, hits a big shot, or the Suns offense is humming. You might get sped up a little bit more than you normally would. You might take shots to try and match them blow for blow. And I think that could help the defense in a way, as odd as it sounds. Like I think their offense could help fuel their defense and vice versa.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, last super chat for a little bit. Why not I can? Is that what we're going with here? I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that. Name said, how do you rate in-game coaching decisions so far?
Too early. I mean, just too early. Not your whole deck of cards. It's hard to go there. Hasn't been great. Hasn't been great, but I think it's way too early to get into that realm.
He's shown a willingness to make adjustments, which is what I like. Like against the Spurs when Josh Okogie, they were sagging off him by like 10 feet. Frank Vogel put Yuta in the second half. It didn't pay off because Yuta missed a lot of open threes, some of which would have swung the momentum in the game, but the thought process was sound there. Today we saw him switch up the starting lineup with Keita Bates-Diop, riding a guy who had played well the last game off the bench and had shown you something. So I like the fact that he's willing to try things, and that's what this portion of the season is all about. I know that we're going to be looking at results when they lose more than anything else, but I do like that he is trying different lineups. And hopefully we'll get to see Metu as part of that soon. That's the one big one that keeps coming up.
5 minutes of him.
I'm good enough now.
But I do think, I do think like if I think Chimezie Metu is going to wind up being the Aaron Holiday of this season, where people are like, why isn't he playing? And I'm kind of like, if you need Chimezie Metu to come in and show you something strong off the bench to win games, something is wrong ahead of him. Like, not that Chimezie can't help this team at all. But if we're looking at it like this is the reason why we're not winning games because Chimezie is only playing 5 minutes, something is wrong ahead of that.
I agree, but I would argue in a game like today where your offense couldn't find it, Nurk gets hit in the face like that, maybe today giving him a little bit more run than the 5 garbage minutes might not have been the worst thing in the world, because I know that they evaluated Nurk, but if you had let him just ride this one out so he's clear for tomorrow and given Metu an opportunity, I wouldn't have been against that necessarily.
I think we would have seen him if he hadn't come back. And to your point, I would have preferred they probably just keep him out to be safe, but we don't know the extent.
And to the in-game question, KBD was a nice adjustment the other night against the Spurs.
Yeah.
I mean, that got us back in. So I think Frank's okay.
We'll see. All right, let's look at our bets from pregame.
Oh.
I don't want to, but we have to.
My God.
Did anyone win?
No. Nobody won again. I think. Listen, the Suns need to turn things around because we're all losing money left and right here, and I'm not on board for it. So we all lost, which means Saul and Espo are minus 60. I have $10 remaining, and Flex has $31 remaining in our bank accounts thus far. So we're going to need to hopefully find a W tomorrow, both the Suns and at least one of us, preferably me, but I'll take a couple W's from you guys as well. If you have not yet gotten in on the action with the BetMGM Sportsbook app, you absolutely should be doing that, because right now specifically, they've got a killer deal for you guys. So sign up for BetMGM using the bonus code PHNX. Then you place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app of at least $10. And you're going to receive $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. We all took L's, but if we were using that PHNX code, because we've already been on it for a long time, we would have gotten $200 today. So it'd be a win-win no matter what. You guys can check out the show notes for full details. And now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
If you need some coffee or a little pick-me-up after today's game, Circle K has you covered. They've got fantastic coffee. They've got Polar Pops, which always are a delightful little treat. Bunch of things. And right now, you can sign up for their free membership program as well. You can join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. You get perks for that, like 25 cents per gallon off your first 5 fill-ups. And you get every 6 free on a selection of Circle K products like pizza, coffee, and those ice-cold fountain drinks as well. Terms and conditions do apply at participating location. Visit CircleK.com for details.
Right now with that, you can get two Pepsis, the bottles, for $3.
Oh,
Hell of a deal.
Nice.
Pepsis?
Kept me caffeinated this morning.
There you go. That's what you need.
Yes.
All right. So people were asking about point guards. People are talking about trades. Y'all want movement. How about John Wall? What do you think? Because he wants to join the Sun squad. He's
For sure, yeah. For sure. That's what I was hoping for in D.C. It went different ways. But me and Brad are still brothers. We still talk a lot. You know, a lot of people always want to make us like we're not cool with each other. That's the reason why things happen. But we still have conversations. We still talk a lot. And I congratulate him on moving there and hope the best for him. And hopefully he can finally win him a championship. But, yeah, I would definitely, if I could join their team, for sure, I would love that.
Yes? No?
Yeah,
Maybe?
I would definitely love to get a job when I'm unemployed too. Like, why are we all like? Yeah, if you asked him about the 30 of the teams in the league, maybe 29, maybe you wouldn't want to go back to Washington. But I think every other group, you'd be like, yes, I would like to join that team and make $1 million, $2 million on the vet minimum because I have no team I'm playing for.
Here's a note.
Don't you tell me this is a possibility.
No.
Okay.
Here's a note. From my experience being in this business for a long time, talking to athletes and agents, when athletes get on shows and start asking to play with a team, they're cooked. I'm serious, yo. Yeah. I mean, I love John, but no. Like, when they start asking, or I don't know if that was an ask, more like a beg.
But they directly asked him.
They did.
So
they set him up for that question. He wasn't coming out being like, please, for the love of God, sign me to your team.
Okay. Yeah, they asked him about Bradley Beal and how he plays. Then they said, hey, would you want to play with him again? So yeah, it wasn't a direct, but still, I mean, come on, the guy has no team, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah. I mean, last year he played 34 games for the Clippers, averaged 11 points and 5 assists, shot 40% overall, and 30% from three.
Did he average 11 and 5?
He did.
How many games did he play?
34.
Is that because of injury?
I think he joined the team
late, right?
Wait, was he injured at all?
Didn't they get rid of him when they got Westbrook too? So
they might have. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where, again, I will ask. You have one roster spot tied up in a guy who probably isn't going to see the floor unless there's injury. I get that you need playmaking, so I could see why there'd be appeal there, but at the same time, like, I don't think Wall is the answer. Again, he is another Aaron Holiday guy where, like, if we're looking to John Wall to save our playmaking, something's fundamentally wrong ahead of that.
I got 2 other guys, right? One guy very close with KD, great ball handler, not with the team. Steve Nash is available.
Oh,
and if you want a Bradley Beal guy that played with Bradley Beal that could help, bang down low, good in the pick and roll, Marcin Gortat is available as well. If we're just going to scrape the bottom of the barrel, at least get some of the people I know and like in the building. All right,
come on.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
No, I honestly didn't know that John. I didn't realize he had 11 and 5 last year.
Yeah.
What'd he shoot?
41% overall, 30% from three, 68 from the free throw line.
Hey, John Blaze, my bad, bro.
But then,
I mean, those aren't great.
They're not terrible, but
they're better than what the Suns.
He's neck deep in the bathtub. All right, he's like, this dude is washed.
Hey, I know somebody with the bone set lines in the hit them up.
I'm just a little concerned. If John Wall comes to this team, then it's already started in the chat. Brian started it. Now we're Wizards 2.0.
Yeah. I don't know if that's what you want to be.
Like,
to be honest.
Gerald, I'm going to say no.
I'm going to go ahead and say I don't know about that, you guys.
I would just like to be the Phoenix Suns. I would not like to be 2.0 of any other team. That's all I'm saying.
And again, I get people are saying, like, Bobo doesn't play. That's a wasted roster spot. Wall would be better than him, yada, yada, yada. Like, I still feel like you could probably, if you are going to cut Bobo for another guy, I feel like you could probably do better than John Wall at this stage.
Agreed.
Oh, God. We're already to this stage.
We're 6 games in. We're 6 games in. Isn't
that crazy?
Which is why I need the Suns to win some basketball games, because I can't do this for too much longer.
We about to go on a heater.
I don't think anybody can do this for too much longer. Like, this amount of stress is not good for any of us. Yeah. We're all going to develop ulcers by the end of the season.
I might already have one.
Our next segment brought to you by Pepto-Bismol.
Not the official drink of Phoenix Suns fans.
Take an OG's, drink a bottle of Pepto-Bismol. You'll be all right.
Oh, my goodness. But like Flex was saying, hopefully we should get on a heater here soon because our guys should return book tomorrow. Eddie sent us a super chat, said big 3 for the Lakers game next week. Sounds lit. With a fire emoji. Bradley Beal potentially as early as Wednesday. Like, things could be turning around and looking good for us here in the very, very near future. And I am all for it.
That would be our first in-season tournament game as well, I believe. The debut of the LVIA jerseys. I'm here for it.
Look, if we only win 6 games between now and that second week of December, make it all the in-season tournament game, please. At least that's something.
If we got the big 3 Friday... I'm bringing in the Chinese again.
Hey,
okay. I need the churros though.
Okay. Yes.
Food.
Can you bring the churros?
I'll see.
Let's do it.
I'll have to just go earlier.
Eric, you liked that night, didn't you? Yeah, Friday night, baby. We're gonna be cooking in the valley. Let's go.
All right, gentlemen, that's all I have for you. Any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
Sky's not falling.
Go watch a new TV show. Touch grass. Please go outside. It's nice outside.
Please, we're gonna be tomorrow. Okay. If I gotta be here 2 weekend days in a row, please win tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely.
Please. I gotta watch Clayton Tune start at quarterback for my professional football team. Can my professional basketball team please win a game?
Yes, absolutely.
If you want to win, though, you should come out and join us for our takeover November 15th.
That's a guaranteed W, regardless of what the Suns do, because you get to hang out with fellow Suns diehards. There's food and drink included in your ticket as well. Like, it's going to be a blast. You're going to get a W that night, no matter what. Again, like Espo said, November 15th against the Timberwolves. Get your tickets right now. Go phnx.com. And if you're a diehard, you get a discount on that too. So it could be like a double whammy. You could sign up to become a diehard if you're not already. Then you get a discount on your ticket to the takeover, and you get a free shirt upon signing up for being a diehard. So it's just like all the goodies in one. Hashtag treat yourself. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you so very much for hanging out with us. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button on your way out. If you are listening wherever you listen to your podcast, rate, review, and subscribe. We appreciate it a lot. Be sure to follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. Don't forget to join us tomorrow, 30 minutes before tip-off for our pregame show. You can also give me a follow at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. You can follow Flex at Flex from Jersey. And, of course, you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
Let this sink in. Right now, at this moment in time, the Arizona Coyotes are the best team in the Valley. Ahoy,
Let's
hoy!
Go.
We all silly like the mayor.